I want to start with this chip shortage because obviously you spent so many years at Cisco building chips into networks that are now powering technology around the world that we all need, especially as we work from home. How big a deal do you think this chip shortage is, and how damaging could it be?
Well, I think it is a big deal, and I think there would be a fair amount of damage with it. What I'm seeing and talking to both the suppliers but also customers is it's a cycle that's going to go into next calendar year. So it's a year long in terms of the challenges. And remember, all it takes is one chip to prevent you from manufacturing an automobile or shipping a computer. It also speaks to our supply chain not working effectively in this new market. We still use the same supply chain capabilities of 10 and 20 years ago. I think you're going to see innovation more in real time with new supply chain players. And I happen to have several of those in my portfolio, but Cloudleaf being the best example. But I think it will be a challenge, to answer your question, for the foreseeable future in this calendar year.
Let's talk about your portfolio, because you have been investing. You're joining the board of Quantum Metrics, and I'm curious what stuck with you there in terms of where you believe the future of technology is going.
Well, you asked the question the right way as always, Emily, and it's great to be on your show again. I miss talking with you. When I pick a company, I look for a company that has a business model change enabled by new technology. Digitization, every company in the world is going to go digital, and everyone is going to use the Internet of Things capability digitization to interface to their employees and their customers differently. As companies do that, they do not have a good feel for, are the digitization efforts being effective? Are their customers satisfied with the capabilities they just provided to them? What Quantum Metrics does so well is they show customers how to use digitization in a way that gets their desired outcomes. You talk about an example with COVID and the vaccine shots. And I just got my second shot yesterday. First time I've ever liked being called a senior in my life, and I'll lose that vocabulary in a moment. But in the line, the session, I was watching the various seniors go through, and most of them had trouble using their phone effectively to pre-register, et cetera. In fact, about half of them, when I asked them, said, my kids did it for me in terms of their interface. As a company who cares about your brand, if they were coming into a retail store and they were struggling with trying to find something in the store that would cause them not to come back, the retailer would have a real problem. In the digital world, we often don't know that people are having trouble entering an order online, trying to get information. And what Quantum Metrics does so well is they show you what is working or not working in this new world. They're a unicorn. First one in 2021. They were the first one this year also to do it on Series B investment, which means watch them for the future. They're going to be a hot stock in the future. And only about 12 to 15 companies per year achieve a unicorn status on a Series B investment round. They got $200 million. Super CEO and Mario, an amazing company.
So let's talk about stocks then, John, because I can't wait to hear your take on what's going on in the public markets. Are we seeing what you believe is the beginning of a longer-term correction in tech, or is this just a blip and tech markets are going to keep going up before the end of the year?
Well, it's important to know, Emily, some of the things you asked me, I am an expert on the internet, security, things of that type. On the stock markets, I've seen 5 major economic changes, upturns and downturns. You remember last year in February, I got called a pessimist for the first time in my life on one of your peer networks when I said we're headed for a real problem, and this is beyond just a issue with a potential pandemic. Unfortunately, turned out to be pretty accurate, and I said it would last 3 to 5 quarters. That looks like economically what it's going to be. Most likely scenario that I hear from top banks and from top investment players in the industry and my VC counterparts, the second half this year is going to be strong economically, probably well in excess of 6% in the U.S. U.S. will come out first, but you'll see Asia follow, Europe follow. The M2 money supply last year was up 25%. This year, it's already up 12%. The best I've ever seen government respond both with fiscal stimulus and the central bank's actions. There's a lot of money out there, and with the COVID relief bill coming in, I think you're going to see a good economy the next 6 months plus. To answer your question on the stocks, as long as the interest rates don't come up too much, I think you're going to see the stocks do fine over this year. And I think it is entirely under government's control not to overspend too much and cause a problem here. But if I were betting, I clearly am. I'm betting big time on the year.